Sean, you hit me up. You said, what are your thoughts on Matt Rhule's comments about Nebraska canceling their spring game due to tampering concerns? What is that, you may say? Yeah, he's not wrong. This is happening. Like I've said about 5 times in tonight's show, never underestimate how important it is not just to have adults in charge, but to have the right adults in charge. College football's had half of that lately. They've had adults in charge. And that's how college football gets itself into the ditch or various ditches that it is in right now. One of them is we've ended up, due to inaction on the front end, finding ourselves in a world where we've got 2 transfer portal windows, and some would argue there are no windows. You can just go wherever, whenever, if anyone really wanted to challenge it. But we've got a situation where you can go through spring, have your spring game, guys look good, and then post-spring, you got 15 schools calling them and trying to bait them to come into the portal to go to their school. Ludicrous. Of course, no sane, well-thinking person believes that should be the case, but it is. So Matt Rhule, Jesse, I didn't even print out the quote. So if you guys quote boarded it, let me know. If you didn't, I can paraphrase it. Yeah, okay, we got it. So Matt Rhule was doing an interview, I think with the AP maybe. But this is what he said. He said the word tampering doesn't exist anymore. It's just an absolute free, open, common market. I don't necessarily want to open up to the outside world and have people watch our guys and say, he looks like a pretty good player. Let's go get him. I dealt with a lot of people offering our players a lot of opportunities after last year's spring game to go out and bring in a bunch of new players and showcase them for all the other schools to watch. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So what we have here is Matt Rhule being asked about a spring game. Nebraska had, I think, 62,000 at their spring game last year. Just a phenomenal spectacle in Lincoln. And they always have a really good spring game look in Lincoln, Nebraska. A place I hadn't been to see a game. It's very much a priority for us. But maybe not for spring, because they may cancel their spring game, and they're not the only ones. Some have already done this. They just didn't have a grand announcement about it. But there's some folks who already aren't having spring games. And the thinking is simple. Sean, you asked me what I think about it. Well, there's what I'd want to do if I was a head coach, and then there's what I'd probably end up doing as a head coach. I wouldn't want to cancel my spring game. But if I hold my spring game, showcase a bunch of my players for the entertainment of the crowd, but also for competitive development of my team, and then the result is every other coach in America is out there watching it on TV, scouting, taking notes, and then offering my guys after spring, I'm not doing that. You want to watch my players, you can wait until the fall when we're playing against you to watch my players. So I have hope that the future of the transfer portal looks different, and future proposals end up being ratified, and they're allowed to be legally, to where you got one portal window, and this is a moot point. If you don't have the ability to hit the exit door after spring, then it's a moot point. Until then, I can't get mad. I can be mad that it exists, but I can't get mad at Matt Rhule for probably doing no different than I do if I were in his position.